We have reached the end of our journey together. 24 videos. Over 3 hours of evidence, stories, and ideas, all woven together to make sense of the world we now inhabit. A journey that began with a simple, nagging question. Why, in an age of unprecedented global wealth and technological marvels, do so many of us feel like we are running harder than ever just to stand still? It's a deep-seated anxiety that the ground is shifting beneath our feet. Our journey started not with charts and graphs, but at a kitchen table in post-war Britain, with a young couple named Arthur and Mary. We learned of their simple, profound dream of security, a stable job, a home, and the hope that their children's lives would be better. We followed that dream through the lives of their children, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren. We watched it first flourish in a golden age of opportunity, then begin to fray under the pressure of a changing economy, its promises becoming harder to grasp. Finally, we saw it break apart entirely, replaced by precarity. But this was never just one family story. To grasp the full scale of the problem, our journey then expanded, taking us across the globe. We saw that the broken rungs of the ladder in Britain were mirrored by a crippling debt trap in America, a two-tier labor system in Germany, the lost generations of Japan, and a global financial system that extracts wealth from the global south. The symptoms differed, but the disease was the same. By connecting these dots from around the world, the pattern became undeniable. We have now seen the full picture, but seeing the problem is only the first step. We have taken the machine apart, exposing the policies and ideologies that drive it. From that deconstruction, we have drawn the blueprint for a better one. And now we are here, together, at the most important moment of all. The journey of understanding is over. A new one must begin. This is the moment we ask ourselves and each other, what now? Let us first be honest with ourselves and about what we have learned. We are so often told to stay calm, but it is okay to be angry. In fact, it is the only rational human response to the world we have uncovered. This anger is not a weakness. It is a sign that you are paying attention. So be angry. Be angry that your great-grandparents in a country shattered by war could build a secure life. They could buy a home and raise a family on one modest wage, while you, with 2 professional incomes, find that same basic security is a distant fantasy. Be angry that your home is no longer a place of security, a sanctuary for your family. It has been hollowed out, reduced to a mere financial asset for a distant landlord or a faceless pension fund, its value measured only as an entry on a balance sheet. Be angry that for 40 years, the promise of work has been broken. Your wages have been deliberately held down, even as your productivity soared. The value you create has been systematically siphoned off to fund the soaring fortunes of executives and the profits of shareholders. Be angry that our tax systems have become a cruel joke. They are designed to punish the money you earn from labor, while creating loopholes that reward the passive income others make from simply owning things. It's a system that penalizes work and subsidizes wealth. Be angry at the calculated lie of austerity. It was never an economic necessity, it was a political choice. A choice that forced you, your family, and your community to pay the price for a crisis you did not create, gutting the services you rely on. Be angry that a tiny global elite has rigged this entire system in their favor and then has the breathtaking audacity to call this rigged game a meritocracy. But know this anger is not toxic. It is not a poison. It is a vital sign, proof that your innate sense of fairness is alive and well. It is the engine of empathy, the force that allows you to see your own struggle reflected in the struggles of others. It is the fuel of all great change in human history. But it cannot be where our journey ends. It must be the beginning. Because for every piece of this cynical machine we deconstructed, we discovered something far more powerful hiding in plain sight. It wasn't just a fleeting feeling, but a tangible reality. A credible, achievable, and deeply hopeful solution. A blueprint for a world that works for the many. We learned that a fairer tax system is not a radical fantasy. It's a series of common-sense choices to ensure the wealthiest pay their share. Policies that the vast majority of people already support. The only thing radical is how long we've ignored this public consensus. We saw that we have more than enough resources to build a new generation of beautiful, sustainable social housing. homes that foster community and dignity. We have the means to fully fund our health services, guaranteeing care is always there for everyone, based on need, not the ability to pay. And we can give our children the greatest gift of all, a world-class education, free from the crushing anchor of debt that holds back so much potential. We discovered that a truly prosperous economy is not built on suppressing the wages of workers, but on empowering them with a real voice, security, and respect. And it's built on supporting the real entrepreneurs, the small and medium-sized businesses that are the true, vibrant backbone of our communities, circulating wealth where it matters most. We learned that the argument "the rich will leave" is a scare tactic, a bluff designed to maintain an unjust status quo. It's a ghost story told to frighten us from fairness. But in an age of global interconnectedness, international cooperation on tax is not only possible, it is already happening, closing loopholes and ending the race to the bottom. Putting these pieces together, we learned that a fairer, more stable, more prosperous world is not just a dream, but a practical, achievable goal. This hope is not naive or wishful thinking. It is based on hard evidence and proven policies. It is an active force, the architect of a better future. And it's time we all started building. And most importantly, we learned that we are not alone. The feeling of frustration that you have, the anger, the hope, it is the shared experience of millions and billions of people, in every town, in every city, in every country on this planet. The fight for this better future is already happening. It's happening in the tireless work of tax justice campaigners and housing charities who hold the powerful to account. It's happening in the quiet courage of the new union organizers fighting for a fair deal for gig economy workers. It's happening in the passionate work of online creators who are breaking down these complex ideas and building a global community of informed citizens. It's happening in every community group, in every local campaign, in every conversation that dares to imagine a better world. You are not a lonely voice shouting into the wind. You are a member of a global chorus, and that chorus is growing louder and more harmonious every single day. This feeling of solidarity, of shared struggle and shared hope, is the most powerful force on earth. This solidarity is our shield against the oldest trick in the book: division. The system we've described thrives by pitting us against each other. It tells the young that the old are hoarding wealth, and the old that the young are lazy. It tells the native-born worker that the immigrant is the cause of their stagnant wages. It tells the middle class to resent the poor for the meager benefits they receive. These are all distractions, false conflicts designed to keep us fighting amongst ourselves while the real beneficiaries of the system remain untouched. The truth we have uncovered is that the real divide is not between young and old or left and right. It is between the tiny fraction at the top who own the system and everyone else. Recognizing this shared interest is the key to our collective power.
This is not the first time that humanity has faced such a stark crossroads. It's a recurring pattern. Throughout history, societies reach these critical breaking points, where the extreme concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a select few becomes not just unfair, but fundamentally unsustainable for the many. Think of the Gilded Age in America. On one side, the unimaginable fortunes of robber barons, their opulence on full display. On the other, grinding poverty and dangerous working conditions for millions. This chasm sparked widespread unrest that ultimately forced a reckoning, giving birth to the progressive era of trust-busting and reform. Think of post-war Britain, a nation exhausted by conflict yet united in a common purpose. Out of the rubble, they made a deliberate collective choice to build a society that cared for everyone, creating the National Health Service and a strong welfare state. History teaches us that the story is not a straight line. It is a constant struggle between the forces that concentrate wealth and the democratic forces that demand a fairer share. So the question is never if the system can be changed. History proves it can be. The only real questions are when and how, and the evidence all around us suggests we are, once again, living in one of those pivotal moments of choice, where our collective decisions will shape the future for generations. So now we come to you. You who have taken this incredible journey, you have done the hard work, you have listened, you have learned. You now possess the single most powerful tool for change that exists, a clear-eyed, evidence-based understanding of the world. The question of what now is therefore no longer a question of despair but a question of choice. You have options, you have agency, you have power. This is not a burden, it is an invitation to participate in the shaping of our collective future. So, what can one person do? The path forward isn't a single giant leap, but a series of deliberate steps. And here are the steps you can take, from the simplest to the most engaged. The first, most fundamental step is the one you have already taken simply by watching this far: awareness. But awareness isn't a destination, it's a starting block. You can now choose to become a catalyst for it in others. The system we have described thrives in the shadows. It is cloaked in jargon and deliberate complexity, relying on our collective silence and the feeling that it's all too big to question. That is why your first, most powerful act is to defy that design, to drag these ideas into the light of shared discussion. It is simply to start a conversation. The easiest way to do this is to share this video, or any of the videos in this series, with just one person, a friend, a family member, a co-worker. It's not about going viral, it's about planting a seed of curiosity in another mind. A conversation is the spark that lights the fire of collective action. Do not ever belittle the power of this simple act. The system wants you to feel isolated, but a conversation shatters that illusion. Every major change in human history, from abolition to suffrage, began when a small group of people started talking and realized they were not alone. This is the foundational step, the bedrock upon which all other forms of action are built. It is the one that makes all the others possible. Once that foundation is laid, and you feel the strength of shared understanding, you can go further. You can move from awareness to active engagement. We have showcased incredible organizations that are already on the front lines. Support their work, follow them, amplify their message, donate if you can. They are the experts and organizers. By supporting them, you add your strength to a collective effort. And if you wish to take the final step, you can move to direct action. This does not mean you have to run for office. It can be as simple as writing to your local councilor or representative. Ask them what they are doing to tackle the housing crisis. Ask them if they support a fairer tax system. Your voice as their constituent matters. After all the history, the data, and the personal stories we've shared, this entire series comes back to a single, powerful, and deceptively simple metaphor: the ladder. For Arthur's generation, a society forged in war and depression made a profound, collective choice. They understood that individual success was meaningless without collective well-being. So they decided to build a ladder, laying its foundation in shared sacrifice, and invited everyone to climb. For Michael's generation, born into the world their parents built, the climb was easy. The rungs were close together, sturdy, and reliable. The path upwards was clear, and the view from the top was one of unprecedented prosperity and optimism. Then, for Sarah's generation, the rungs grew further apart. The climb became a precarious individual struggle. The ladder itself felt harder and harder to reach, with the risk of falling growing ever greater. For Alex's generation, the betrayal is complete. The ladder has been pulled up entirely, leaving them stranded on the ground, looking up at a world they were promised, but can never reach. But the story does not end there. Because the final powerful truth is this: we are the ones who build the ladder. It is not a force of nature. It is a human creation, a reflection of our values. We can leave it broken, a monument to our selfishness and division. Or, we can choose to start rebuilding it together, rung by rung, stronger than before, fairer than before, a ladder for everyone. The choice, as it has always been, is ours. This channel was started with one simple belief: that a better, fairer world is not only possible, but achievable. Our promise was to give you the full story, to deconstruct the problem, and to showcase the credible solutions. We have now done that. This final video is not an end, it is an invitation. An invitation to join a global conversation and a global movement. The work of the chronicler is to document the story. The work of changing it, of rebuilding that ladder, belongs to all of us. Thank you for watching. The first step starts now.